Hello, children. Good morning to everyone. Hope you all are keeping fine, children. Children, we have already completed chapter number 1, 2, and 3 from your history section. And today I am going to start first chapter from civics. Now, the first chapter is the Union Legislature. The first part is the Union Parliament. You can see the picture of the Parliament, children, here. Now, children, before I start the lesson, I want to explain you the term federal system and the unitary state system. The Constitution of India has provided for the federal system of government, though the term federalism is not mentioned anywhere in the Constitution. In federal system, it means in this system of government, all the administrative power are divided between the center and the state government by the Constitution, and both are supreme within their respective spheres. Now, children, you know that we have in present time also, you can see that there is a central government, you all know, and then all the states, they have their own power. In center, PM is there, Prime Minister, and all the state have their own respective CM. So power is divided in federal government between the PM, Prime Minister, and Chief Minister. That means from center and the state. In unitary state, the power, there is a single power in which the central government is ultimately the ultimate supreme power. So the main power is in the hand of the center. The center government may create administrative divisions. It is on their wish. Such units exercise only the power that the central government chooses to delegate. Any power that the central government want to share with the state, that power will be enjoyed by the state. Otherwise, it will remain under the central government. So here I have explained you the difference of federal and unitary government. Both the center and the state government draws their authority from the Constitution, children. The Constitution has mentioned all the powers which will be practiced by the center and state also. India is very large country. Therefore, it is not possible in the Indian federal system for the state to break away as a separate unit from the Union India. A federal system is the only system suitable for the country like India. Now, children, there is a division of legislature and administrative power between the union and the center. So, power is divided between the union and legislature in union and center. Now, Supreme Court stand at the head of the judiciary to safeguard the distribution of power and to prevent any action which violates the limitations imposed by the Constitution. That means the Constitution. In your next chapter, you will study or learn that the Constitution is considered, the Supreme Court is considered as the guardian of Constitution because they safeguard the Constitution so that no one can violate any rules which is written in the Constitution. The state have been given the right to participate in functioning of the government. Now, children, here we have given you about the federal system of government. Now, non-federal or unitary features. The Constitution of India has certain non-federal or unitary feature which have led to the cities to say that not merely federal or in form but unitary in spirit. Children, now here you will see that how center is practicing their power. There are many points given. If you go in your book in page number 164, you will see there are certain points given like a strong center. The Constitution of India provides the strong center, a feature of unitary government. Means in unitary government the center is always very strong and they have most of the power is under them. In the division of power, 97 items are included in the union list, which the state list contains only 67. Means they have 97 powers, and out of 97 powers only 67 is given to the state. Other remaining will be under the control of the center government. Then single constitution for union and state. The children, the constitution which is written, it will remain same for the center as well as for the state. There is no difference between the center and the state. Flexible of constitution. The constitution of India is rather flexible. In other federations, amendment of constitution can be made only with the consent and approval of the unit, whereas in India it is possible to change the some act or articles in the constitution. Now India also provides with single citizenship. No matter in which state you live, you will be considered as the citizen of India. So we have single citizenship. We cannot say we are citizen of any state in north or any state of south. We are citizen of India. That means our constitution provides us with single citizenship, and all the fundamental rights, whatever power and right is given to all the citizen of India. Now children, then comes the Union Parliament. Children, the Union Parliament comes in the Parliament. There are few sections. So here we will read about the Parliament, children. And in the Parliament, the upper legislature comprises of President. Children, here I am showing you a diagram. I have drawn a diagram here to so that you may understand the chapter properly, this topic where we are talking about the government of the union. Now the upper legislature comprises of president and the two houses of parliament. The house of the people, that is Lok Sabha, and the council of state, that is Rajya Sabha. The parliament is the body of people, is representative who have supreme power of governance in a democratic country. Children, here in Lok Sabha, people are directly elected. These ministers are directly elected by the common people. The Lok Sabha is the house of people. That is why it is considered as a house of people, because people choose their representative. The members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people of India. You must be knowing, till now you are in class 10, you all know that every 5 years elections take place, and what are the procedure of elections, that we will read in the coming chapter. So these people are elected by the people. Now term and condition of this. According to the constitution, the term of Lok Sabha is 5 years. However, it can be dissolved before the expiry of its normal term by the president on the advice of prime minister. In every purpose, in every way, whatever decision is taken by the president is with the help of prime minister. Prime minister advises president to act. During the proclamation of an emergency, the period of Lok Sabha may be extended by parliament for 1 year at a time. Means not more than one. If more than 1 year the period is extended, that will take first in 1 year, another time again that will be suspended, and a new proclamation will be made and for another year. The new Lok Sabha must be elected within 6 months after the national emergency is lifted. Now children, composition means how many members should be there, what is the qualification, all this comes under the composition. The maximum strength of Lok Sabha is Constitution 552. Out of this, not more than 530 members shall represent the state, not more than 20 members shall represent the union territories, and 2 Anglo-Indian members are elected by the president. Children, here I have completed with Lok Sabha. Now in next chapter, next class, I will tell you the qualification and about Raj Sabha. Till then, children, read the chapter, and you will get the table also. This kind of table you will get in your book. Have a nice day, children. Keep studying.